Hello everyone and welcome to TNO, the What If Germany Won World War II mod for Hearts of Iron 4. For Germany winning World War I, there's Kaiserreich. For Germany winning World War II, there are a lot of mods for both scenarios, but in this case, there's TNO. Today we play in Europe, or maybe Asia, somewhere on the border, in Vyatka. TNO is famous for having this Russian warlord mechanic where there are 4 regions, the 4 regions unify, and then the quarters unify into 2 halves, and then the 2 halves invade Kazakhstan and then fight each other. We start off here led by Emperor Vladimir III, a great emperor. Like many other emperors, we'll definitely have many opportunities to yell at people to strike us down, as emperors do. Start off with 7 factories, which is very good. We do though have a terrible national spirit though from Germany trying to suppress these Russian warlords from uniting, which puts us at a slight disadvantage again from the Russian warlords who are further to the east and aren't targeted by such raids. I'm sure we'll be fine though. Our army is very interesting right now. It's nothing amazing, though we don't really need amazing divisions. For now, all we really need is good micro so that we can out-micro the AI. And it's funny too, I kind of feel like in a way I have played Vyatka before, even though I haven't. Because a while back I played as the Ordenstadt, and as Burgundy you kind of want Vyatka to win, so I was kind of helping Vyatka. And then for research, we'll want 3 things. We want artillery, guns, and tanks. So we'll begin researching this infantry equipment, we'll begin researching this artillery, and then I don't know what types of tanks we should go for, probably just the main battle tank, or maybe the armored fighting vehicle actually, because a lot of the other people we'll be fighting probably won't have tanks of their own, so you won't really need the main battle tank. And interesting too, while we have 8 production units, we don't have enough grid power to power all of them. So 4 are being wasted, therefore I assume the smart thing to do with our political power will be saving up to reconnect Soviet power grids, and then once we do that we'll get some more power and then we can use more factories to make more guns. And we do have a somewhat important decision early on here. We have to decide whether to do our industry tree or our political tree first, basically. It doesn't matter too much necessarily, but I think it will be better to jump on helping our industry first, and then we'll jump over to the other political stuff. Our stability is pretty bad. War support is fine. We'll see what happens. So now we have 2 options. We can increase the supply of vital medical materials, or we can pass something called the Potato Act, which usually I would choose the former, but this is called the Potato Act, the Imperial Potato Act. That's pretty good. We're also receiving an ultimatum. We'll put our army on their border to prepare for a border war, and we'll hold on to this event as long as possible. We'll also do this decision to set up the power grid in 60 days. Then the border war starts. We should win this because it's a very easy defensive war against stupid AI. We'll also scavenge for loot now that we've started connecting the power grid, and then I guess we will start raiding other people too once they have loot that we can take from them. All fun stuff. And the communist free aviators are so dedicated to the cause that they have made a donation to us, and maybe everybody else too, but they have made a donation to us, which is very nice of them. They may be spared from the Emperor's wrath, maybe. And with our loot, we're going to invest it into new industrial equipment, and then we will start scavenging for new loot when it's possible, or stealing it from somebody else. Nobody has any loot though, and that's unfortunate. I really like loot. They should start scavenging for it so that we can steal it. I guess our army might not be good enough to steal it from them yet anyway, so we should probably work on making it better. Why should he, a czar and proud member of the House of Romanov, debase himself in front of a commoner? Why should he not burn this letter now and treat this matter with the same disdain that his family would have done 50 years ago? So, shall he be arrogant or shall he be humble? Let us send the letter. I want to see what happens. Okay, and it does good. We increase our popular support by some amount. And perfect, now with those power grids reconnected, we're able to use 6 military factories, 1 for consumer goods, hence why this is 7 and not 6. And I think I will put 2 on support equipment because that's what we're low on. We're missing aluminum though, which is unfortunate. Maybe we could buy some, but then to buy some, you'd have to take a factory off of this to buy it with. And so what shall we choose now? More questions about the Romanovs. Clinging to the past killed the Romanovs of old. Should we enforce the rule of law, or should we put the aristocrats above it? I think we should probably enforce the rule of law. That's a good idea, and it keeps our stability high. Speaking of stability, we will also do this good decision. Hold public speech, costs 75 political power, and gives us 20% stability, and increases the support for Tsar Vladimir. We also unlock some other good decisions too through that, and we can appeal for trucks. Though I don't know if we need to pay that money to buy trucks. Very personal recruitment. We gain 1 manpower. Okay, so the Emperor visited the front. Things didn't go well, and now that guy, he's gone. We've lost the 1 guy. Only Republic is now trying to steal our loot. They will unfortunately lose. They have a bigger army than us, so maybe they can win, but I don't think that's exactly how this works. Yeah, we'll win this easily. We'll, though, now try to steal some loot of our own. St. George only has 2 divisions, so they should lose the border war. They might just give us the loot, though. And yeah, they just paid the tribute. That's nice. We get it for free, no need for battle, and now we can use the loot to, I guess, get better research facilities, or maybe new workers is probably better. And in terms of military factories, we're really doing great. The Revolutionary Front has 2, Komi has 2, everybody else has like a 1, and Byzantine bureaucracy. This event is hardly praising much, more venting frustrations, but it does remind us, of course, that we are the last chance to restore our 3rd Rome here. Maybe we can end this campaign off with invading Turkey, or I don't know. Probably not. That's probably a bad idea, and we probably can't even get to them, but maybe we could do some crazy stuff once the normal content ends. We'll now too use some of the popularity we've slowly built up to introduce some more taxes. That's the only reason we get popularity, of course, to spend the popularity on something. And our popularity is still high, so things are still fine. We'll do the People's Tsar too. I also don't know if I've ever researched jet engines as a Russian warlord, but I feel like going into CAS a bit today. I usually focus mainly just on tanks and artillery and infantry equipment, like I said, but I think we should spice things up, make some really good CAS. And we've designed a nice new AFV based on the new model that we researched, so we'll start producing this instead. We probably won't be able to actually use these in the initial unification, but once we unify our basic region, we should be able to throw a few of those out on the field. Okay, the German Civil War has begun. That greatly increases our industrial output, and in addition to that, we now have a new focus tree where we can begin preparing for the unification phase. We just need to get here, and then we can start declaring. The only choice we have in this focus tree is whether to do lessons of the past or a new age of war. We will do lessons of the past because it will allow us to get more manpower, which we are in desperate need of. This one just gives us research bonuses, which we don't really need. And now we will finally begin the reclamation. Once 5 more days have passed, I guess, technically. Okay, the Imperial March. Let us see, who are we going to attack first? Or maybe we'll be getting decisions to decide who attack first? Because I don't see any war goals unless we have to do the Empire Strikes Back to get war goals. But yeah, based on the focus icon and this here that says we were the only contender left in West Russia, I assume we do this focus once we've already unified this region. Loyal citizens, it has been a long wait. We are ready. It is time to take back our country. Civilian chaos is pretty high. I don't know exactly what civilian chaos does, but it probably isn't good. Either way, I assume we should probably attack people to our south first real fast so that we can limit things down to a single front. We're in a pretty bad place right now because we're surrounded on all sides by people in West Russia. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get some stable borders. These guys are in a border war right now, so they're distracted, so perfect time to attack. I guess we'll also do whatever decisions we can to suppress civilian chaos. I've saved up a lot of political power and command power for stuff like this, and the second we declare declared war on them, they just magically halved in size, so that's interesting. This is going to make this war slightly more difficult, I assume, because now we're going to have to attack into a smaller front, but if we can pin their divisions and move in here, it'll probably still be easy. Just want to end this as soon as possible. But yeah, strangely, their country becoming half the size is going to make this easier for them to defend, because before there were so many opportunities for us to encircle them, but now it's maybe more complicated, especially if they're last standing. Yeah, or this isn't last standing, that was just defending territory. We're fine. And there's a mysterious person planning on attacking us, but we don't know who it is. I wonder who it is. I guess we'll move some divisions off the front line for an emergency. Okay, and it looks like it was Komi. I probably should have moved these divisions to our capital. That would have been smart, but I don't think we'll capitulate. They are moving into us. I will move my planes, though, to this airbase and start trying to get air superiority. Yeah, producing fighters seems to have paid off, and we did get to Vyatka in time. This is interesting. Another person is preparing to attack us. In addition to that, too, the West Russian Revolutionary Front and Komi, who's now just led by nobody, have guaranteed each other, though since Komi attacked us, a guarantee doesn't do anything. And they have tanks, and these tanks mostly have supply, but they just don't have enough tanks, so they can't fill the combat with, and they're not going to win. And we have a lot of interesting and honestly really good decisions for getting extra attack and other special buffs, but we really don't need them, honestly. We can probably win by not using any of those decisions. Okay, and two people are justifying on us, and I don't think that includes the West Russian Revolutionary Front, who also declared on us. We have more divisions, I think, than Komi and them combined, and Komi should capitulate momentarily, so I think we'll be okay. If they move around us and take all these victory points, it doesn't even really matter. I don't think we can capitulate unless they take Vyatka, and they're not going to get here. Unless this warlord declares on us, then we maybe will lose. But yeah, there they go. Capitulated. Now we just need to hurry and clean up the West Revolutionary Front. Then we should be safe. They have no divisions here, so we might just be able to capitulate them by running around to their capital and moving over here. I'll take this one motorized division, railroad it here, and then have it try to cut off all these guys because their entire army is probably right there. Okay, and things are going as expected. We're moving towards their victory points here. They're occupying this whatever place here that doesn't matter. Very sad news, though. Richard Nixon has resigned. Now we have Kennedy, so that's great. Well, we don't have Kennedy. We have the great emperor, of course. And we should take this victory point here, which is worth 7. This one here, which is worth 15. This one here, which is worth 1. Another 1, and a 3. Yep, and those 4 victory points did it. We are now in a much better position. We still have some enemies on our borders, but I'm not too concerned. I'm still kind of interested though in who's declaring on us, so I don't want to get too aggressive until we know for sure. Okay, and we're now attacking Samara. They do have more divisions than us technically, but they're in 2 wars, and we are going to try to encircle them, so that gives us a slight advantage. See, like 2 divisions should be encircled here, and I think with those divisions encircled, we should be even. And here, we have done it. We can now do the Empire Strikes Back focus, of course. Get the event The Sun Rises. Very good. We'll now do the decision, and we're now the sovereignty of Western Russia. And we now have a new tree that we'll begin doing as we prepare to fight against whoever wins here. I have a pretty good guess of who's gonna win, but I don't know. It could go either way. And I did not think we would have elections, but I guess we do have a Congress mechanic, in addition to, of course, our emperor. I guess today let's go with the cadets. And interesting, I think this Murmansk rebellion is something that's new. I don't recall this from my old Russia TNO playthroughs. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm sure that's the new way that we invade here and take this. And yeah, extremely easy conquest here. Finland finished up their rebellion before we were able to attack, but yeah, that doesn't even make a difference. And wow, we're now a democracy. I didn't realize this path could go in this direction. I guess we really did strike the emperor down. He's still the leader though, of course, so, you know, he's still around. So I went to war with these guys down down here without realizing that this would escalate into a full-out war with Batov here. This isn't a very big deal though, because we easily outnumber them, so like, this doesn't really matter. We'll just put our army here, we'll eventually get into position, and then we outnumber them like 3-1, something like that. So we'll win. It'll just be a bit messy for the first little bit here, since we don't have divisions on most of the front line. But yeah, things are already looking much better as we're moving up to the north. We have 2 mobile units. Well, it appears Batov thought that having no divisions in the north was such a good idea that he decided to do it too. So now there's no divisions on the north in their side. This was a good idea. And nice. We are now the Russian Empire. We have unified half of Russia. The other half is probably a long ways from fighting each other, or maybe just a year or 2. Wow, this is great. Poland won in Kazakhstan. That's amazing. I guess they don't really get to annex everything. They just get to continue to exist and have this puppet state. Then normal Kazakhstan exists here. And it is time now for the final showdown here. For every one of their soldiers, we have 6 soldiers, so I don't think they can really win this. And the majority of our army is the mobile division. So with the mobile division, I think this will be pretty easy. Their divisions are worse, and their divisions aren't supplied all the way, and we have a pretty much fully mechanized army. Our only issue might be supply. Well, actually, supply looks great, honestly. And it is done. We'll now use all of our hoarded political power to integrate everything. We've already completed our focus tree, and this is the end because there's currently a bug and we cannot annex this one last country because this is broken and there's nothing that we can do. But I guess I will cheat and annex them anyway. It seems like some of these old paths are kind of becoming bugged. A monarchy conducted with infinite wisdom and infinite benevolence is the most perfect of all possible governments. A new empire. Anyways, we can now go do the funny stuff if we want to, but maybe we can save that for a part 2 if you guys want. I had fun though, and I will see you all next time.